This one's all about you. Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I am the Drunk Linux User. What is your passion? What makes you wake up in the morning thinking, I can't wait to do, and you fill in the blank? There's lots of things out there, and there's lots of things beyond computing that can really enrich your life. But you can use a computer to help make that dream come true as well. So if you want to know the definition behind this particular version of passion, it's a strong liking or desire for or devotion to some activity, object, or concept. What is that? What is your passion? Okay, my passion, for example, has always been the audiovisual arts. That's always been my passion. Now, as you can see, I'm this great YouTuber, right? Okay, it didn't happen overnight. Okay, I'm waiting for the laughing to subside a little bit. Okay, now to get back into the serious part of it, I have this passion to produce something. I've always wanted to do that. So I've learned if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So if you can find something that, or you already have something that you want to improve on or make your own, then you need to do a little bit of work. Okay, you're going to need the right tool for the right job. Now, when that comes to hardware, you either use your existing computer, or if you're out in the market for one, try to find something that's going to have enough memory, enough hard drive space, things along that line. Something that you can work with that in 2 years or even 1 year, because I've seen that happen too, where the computer is just like outdated. You can't upgrade it because when you do, everything starts to bog down and slow because the operating system's gotten huge. And this happens with Mac and Windows, and it can happen with Linux too. But we're talking about Linux primarily here. And everybody has their different likes and dislikes. For example, if you're a beginner, or if you're just more of a number cruncher kind of person, I'd suggest something like Linux Mint to start with. It's a very, very, very solid distribution. Ubuntu. If you don't like the Windows layout, but you like more of a Mac layout, then try Ubuntu. These are great starter operating systems that you can work with. And these distributions have such a wide repository of applications to choose from. And then we get into that part where, well, what software should I get? Because, there's, and it's my fault because I've been telling everybody, hey, look, it's Linux. We have all these choices, right? Well, this is where you're going to have to try to make this your own, okay? You're going to have to take a look at what workflow, what helps you work the best. It's going to take some trial and error, okay? It's not going to be maybe overnight, but do some research, little trial and error, and try to search for what's going to work with what you have. For example, if you're using Linux Mint on a relatively new computer, then you want to find out, what kind of printer can I use, for example, or what kind of tablet can I use with this. And pretty much you can use just about everything, but there are some limitations, okay? Somewhat of a difference between Linux and Windows. But all that being said, you can pretty much come to a good compromise with just about everything that's in front of you. So say one of your passions is to build a garden, plan it out, find out how you can make things work in a certain way. Who would have put gardening and Linux together? You can also start writing down your notes about what you did, when you did it, and everything else using LibreOffice, for example. If you want to write the next great novel, then there are different tools that you can use. It isn't just LibreOffice you can get. Focuswriter, if you get distracted by all the toolbars and all the junk that you see on LibreOffice, then get Focuswriter. Basically, you start it up and you can just start typing, and all you see are your words. Move the cursor to the top, there's a little toolbar up there that just kind of drops down, and you can save your text. You can save it in a way so that you can open it up and format it in something like LibreOffice or OnlyOffice or whatever you're going to use, right? But find something that when you open it up, you feel like you can just jump right into and start working. Okay, say you're an artist. Same kind of thing. Krita may be too much for you right now. Maybe you need to use GIMP, okay? What this means is that you are going to have to experiment. You're going to have to go through that trial and error I spoke about before. The same thing is going to happen if you want to make music using your computer as well. Yes, there's Audacity, there's Cecilia, there's Ardor, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can use, but it has to match up with your equipment. If you don't have the equipment for some of this, then it's not going to work. So do a little bit of research first. Say you're a programmer and you need to find the right kind of tool to work with. Well, in that case, there's a whole bunch of them listed here, and I'll put all these links in the show notes for you so that you have an opportunity to, you can start here. These are not the end all answers, okay? These are starting places. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the right tool for the right job, right? We're trying to find the best desktop environment. And for example, with programming, well, there's a lot of different distributions you can use. There's a lot of people saying now that they really like Pop! OS because of the tiling feature, but you can also use something called i3 as a desktop environment kind of thing. It's more of a window manager instead of a desktop environment, but that's another show, maybe sometime later. But you want to make sure that you have what you feel comfortable with right away. Here's the deal. You may have to learn or maybe even relearn your craft. By that, I'm saying you may have been, as an artist, you may have been working with oils, watercolors, or chalk, or charcoal, whatever, on your medium. Well, if you are going to be using something like Krita or you're going to be using GIMP, if you get a tablet, then you're going to have to learn how to paint again using your tablet and the pen. You will eventually find that it will become second nature to you, but it's a new motor skill. These are new muscle memories you're going to have to build up. Stick to it. Don't get frustrated. Don't become so discouraged that you're just going to drop it and say, the heck with it. I'm just going to go back to the regular medium and take my chances with that. I mean, if you really find that trying to work on a computer to do your craft cannot work, then yes, go back to what works for you. But if you're trying to use a computer, stick with it, okay? For example, I'm using my computer to learn a second language. Now, I took 3 years of a foreign language when I was in high school, and I really didn't take it seriously. Well, now I want to learn it. So I'm using the computer, and it doesn't matter which distribution or whatever, it's all online. So basically, I'm just learning. But I have a passion to learn this as well as the passion to continue doing work with Linux and work on audiovisual type work. So I'm not discouraged because I make mistakes. My mouth doesn't work exactly perfectly. I'm human. I make mistakes. I learn from these mistakes. I don't get discouraged. Sometimes I do have to get up and walk away, to be perfectly honest. But, cool off, come back, work at it again. If you have that passion, if you have that drive, You're going to learn how to do this, and you can learn this on your own. And if you can't, YouTube the crap out of it, okay? Go on YouTube or just do a search using your favorite search engine. Put in the keywords that you want to get your information from. Look out and look up the sources and see what answers may be available. There are so many pages and so many different pieces of information you can get off the internet right now. Your answer should be out there. So at the end of the day, you've done your research, you've tested your tools, and you've sat down, you've got everything you need. Do it. Do it and have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. Be proud of what you've done. Share it if you will. And let's leave this on our words of wisdom. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't go to eBay, Amazon, or use MS Edge shopping all buzzed up because you think you're going to buy the latest, greatest, and coolest stuff, because you're probably not. Next show, I'm going to talk about why I did some things for my system when it came to peripherals. Because, well, I'll give you just a little bit of a hint. I'm cheap as heck, okay? And I don't like to spend lots of money for something that I can get just as reasonably somewhere else. But that's the next show. In this show, bottoms up. Later, dudes.